I should probably go put a bra on then. Did you try to record?
It's already done.
Just kidding.
You have to set the screen so it's only like here.
Oh yeah, sorry. Hey guys, thanks for hopping on to the second part, part 2 of our 2-week training for Go Manager campaign. Thank you so much, Lauren, for helping set this up. And I was gone last week, and Adam really helped with it, and I really appreciate it. So if you're on this call, and this is something that we tell people all the time, the same things that we say tonight are the same exact things that we will tell you when you want to go director and then you want to go executive. You're literally just doing the same thing over and over and over again. You're sharing with people, trying to get them to find accountability partners and doing it, times 2, times 4, times 5, whatever it is. You're just going on and on and on. Just because we hit executive didn't mean that we stopped there. We kept going again and hitting executive again. So we never have the bare minimum of 5 and 5 on each side because we have to keep building because we know people are going to drop out. So just like you may be frustrated that people have dropped out before, it happens to all of us. It happens to Lauren. It happens to me. It happens to Adam. It happens to Laura. It happens to every single person. So you just have to keep going out and finding new people and new blood to keep building your business. So don't think it's just you or there's something wrong. Like, it literally happens to us all. And people that have been out a while will come back on again and will surprise you. And you'll see, maybe your left side or your right side has, double the people on the other side. And that's normal. So just know that. I know last week you guys touched a lot on doing launch parties for people, but if you're trying to hit manager, have a party at your house or have a party at their house and just invite some of their friends. That's really, really key. Because a lot of times people feel like, well, what do I do? How do I share with people? And if you're like, hey, let's do a new year, new you at your house, or I'll launch it at my house and you just bring your people with you, people will totally jump onto that and they'll be excited about it. And offer incentives to get people to these parties also. Like if they bring 2 friends, I automatically give them a box of e-shots. So, you can create a consultant on the spot. I know that we did a party for, I think, Karen Poyer 2 months ago, and she literally had created a consultant on the spot because we incentivized people to bring people, and they never thought that they would enroll too, but they did. So that was just something that I really wanted to talk about, and I wasn't on last week, and I heard you guys say, so that's really important. But we can open up the line for questions that you guys have, or role play, or whatever you want to have to do, but just feel free to unmute yourself and ask us what you need help with.
I have a question.
Yes. Hey, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
Wow, good.
Okay, my question to you is, I moved down to Lakewood.
Yay. New connection.
Yay! That's great. Woo! I don't know anybody but the woman over here. So, and the guy down there. So I'm not sure how to handle like launch parties and where to go, what to do.
Take this one. Well, Karen, hey, have you ever listened to MLM Nation with Simon? MLM Nation with Simon Chen. His $1 million question to every single successful person is, hey, if you got dropped down on the planet and didn't know anybody, what would you do?
Okay.
So a lot of their answers, and I would love to hear you answer this too, but a lot of their answers are get out where people are. Get involved in meetup groups, in network business, BNI groups. Get plugged in where people are. Find out where everybody's going. And what I would suggest is spend a day going to brick and mortar businesses, because these are already entrepreneurial type people, and just saying, hey, how can I help you bring referrals to your business and exchange information? And spend a full day just going door to door with business owners, people who are already have that mindset of entrepreneurial. And maybe, they're going to say, well, what do you do? And they're going to ask you, and then maybe start right there, just casting a vision a little bit about, what you do, and just build a relationship first, but make it more about making them successful, and how you can help them. And that would at least start a relationship.
I love what Roseanne just said. Throw yourself a housewarming party. You're absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Roseanne.
There's 2 clubhouses, so I guess I could invite the whole neighborhood.
Perfect. Invite your neighbors. Do something for the new year, right? Doesn't everybody want to get together, and doesn't everyone want to feel better? That would be a great idea. See if you can use the clubhouse.
Yeah, so who did the MLN,
All right,
MLN?
I'll add it in the group. I'll link
Oh,
to it.
okay. All right. And I haven't been drinking either. I've been cleansing.
That's sort of the same thing.
You might want to start. I don't know.
I do have sangria in the refrigerator.
Good. Go pour some.
All right. What else? What else?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lauren, did you have anything to add to that, or you're fine?
No, I'm really just listening. You guys, I had asked, I kind of wanted Jen and Adam to lead this, and if Laura hops on, just because I've done a lot, and they are just in massive action, have created a ton of managers. There's a ton of wisdom there. But really, you guys, I mean, we could train all day long about how you have to, have a why, how to have a launch party, how to, do a three-way call, how to, create consultants on purpose. But really, I think what's best is for you to just ask us questions. And sometimes the live Q&A is the best. So if you're struggling of what to say to somebody, how do you get someone to have a launch party? How do you set up a three-way call? Like any of those questions, this is the time to just ask. And there's no stupid question, and it doesn't matter where you are. Just, we want to be what's most helpful to you. So just hop out with your questions. Otherwise, we'll definitely continue with more scripted training.
Great. Mm-hmm.
I want to play the Jeopardy song.
And I think this week, these first couple of days in this week, you may have people on the line, but you may be getting a lot of crickets. And I think we're all right now really slowing down because it's going to speed up, especially December 28th. If you've seen Eric Cooper's video about how we're doing the IsaBody Crusher, the whole challenge that's going to be going on, it's going to be huge. But make sure people know that you're the one they're coming to right after Christmas, because everyone's going to be looking for it.
So I have a question off of that. Hi.
Hey, Bianca.
Hey.
It's a little hard to hear you, sweet girl.
Sorry. Is this a little bit easier? I don't want to wake up the baby.
Oh, that's a little better.
So outside of Facebook and just chatting with people, how else do we let people know that, hey, come to me? How do you put that out there outside of Facebook branding? And
Do you talk to people when you go places? Literally, it's like listening to people. Like if you are a people listener and just really ask questions, even if you don't ask questions, pretend you're just sitting there and you never, ever, ever talk. Guarantee 90% of the time someone next to you is going to be complaining about the way they feel, the way they look, right? Or they have no money all the time. You go to something I go to my daughter's dance thing, and I literally will just listen to people and I'm like, oh my goodness. Everybody is almost like a Debbie Downer, wants to complain about stuff, and whether they want to help themselves or not is a completely different story. Because you see on Facebook how many times do people just complain. People have suggestions, right? Sherry, we have this conversation all the time. People are always posting things, and you try to help them, and then they don't want to help themselves yet. But really listen to people and just be like, hey, I really hope you don't I hope I'm not overstepping my bounds, trying to give you advice, but that's what I do for a living. Or I found something, like Lauren always says, found. I found something that has helped me, and I felt the same exact way as you, and this is what I found. So trying, besides social media, just to listen everywhere you go and see if you have a solution to offer them, I would say is really key. And there's some people that we even just are emailing because they're older and we don't really see them. Do that if you have to also, but just listen everywhere you go. There's conversations to be had everywhere.
How about something simple too that I found? When people ask you how you are, I'm amazing. If you're living out loud and you're obsessed with this opportunity and these products, and you have that attraction factor, people are just I kind of want what you have. I don't know what you have, and I'm not sure if this is what I align with, but I can hear it in your voice. I've had a lot of conversations recently where they're they've told me no, but they're and I'm I don't know if you can tell, but I'm passionate about this. Yeah, no, that's very clear. And the law of attraction, I had somebody actually tell me I'm just engaged at what's going on with you right now and the way you're talking. So remember, we're having fun when we're doing this, and we're living our lives out loud. If you're smiling and actually looking people in the eyes, People aren't going to know what to do with that, but they're going to like it, but they're not going to really maybe understand it yet. So it's just over time, that consistency.
And guys, don't think that this is like, it's got our 10-year anniversary is coming up this week. And we've been together almost 12 years. This is not the same guy as last year. At this time last year, I was a mess running around the house, doing the business by myself, trying to do Christmas stuff by myself, trying to do everything. Like, this is not the same man as a year ago. Yeah. He literally never asked people how they were doing, and no one ever said he had an attraction factor, maybe except once in a while physically if he was having a good day. But, a good workout. Just kidding.
It's true. No, it's true.
But, like, he was not, like, attracting in amazing people. And he always was like, oh, you're the light of the room. We go to parties. People are attracted to you. Why do you want to talk to those people? Like, why do you even want to talk to them? Don't you just want to go and, like, hang out with people you really like? And he has changed. So it's just a testament to that. It's a skills-based business. And the more you grow yourself is exactly, what they say. He's a walking testament of it. So Bianca, I think that's amazing. Just like for you to know too, that this is not what it always was.
It's a work in progress for sure. And Kathy just said on the last call, it takes 5 years potentially to really get and learn the skills. And I always tell people 3 to 5 years, like, give yourself time and grace, but be committed on a consistent basis to be learning. Listen to podcasts when you can. Just have conversations with people and find their pain points and steer them in the right direction, or at least friend them on Facebook. And if you're consistent on Facebook, you'd be crazy. In a year from now, how many people turn around and actually come back out maybe and seek you out? So.
Bianca, that's really good. Jen and Adam, there's a couple things I'd love to throw in here. First of all, when we talk about the law of attraction, I said something the other day at my opportunity meeting, and sometimes I get lucky and these things come out of my mouth. I'm like, where'd that come from? But I was talking about if you're a shield or a magnet, right? And like every day when you show up and when you go out in places, you're really doing one or two things. You're literally either pushing people away from you or you're drawing people in. And that is what Kathy was talking about, like your stance, your state, your posture, your energy, right? Carrying products with you, like making shakes in public, carrying your shaker bottle, like opening in bars up, things that like people are going to see what you're doing. Like I intentionally every single day take my e-shot when I get to the gym, instead of in my car right before I pull in. Do you know what I mean? Like I usually do a post in the car for social media, and then I take it in the locker room. I take it when I get on the Stairmaster. I take it sometimes when I'm clocking in. And I can't even tell you how many people I've ended up with a connection and enrolled because like, what is that? What is that thing you drink, right? I just did it the other day going into Core Power. When the guy checking me in was like, oh, is that 5 Hour Energy? I was like, heck no. He's like, what is it? And I was like, don't you want to know? Like, I was like kind of joking. He's like, well, kind of. I was like, do you want one? You want me to tell you about it? He's like, do you have another one? You know what I mean? And like, you never know. But so, living out loud with your products. But one of the things that I learned early on when I had my private practice as a nutritionist was that nobody was going to show up at my door and say, hi, can I help you? You know what I mean? Like word of mouth referrals is great. And I was trying to do Yelp and Groupons and all that stuff, but I had to be really hungry to find clients, So I sent emails and texts and calls to all of my friends and family saying, hey, I opened up a business as a clinical nutritionist. This is my forte. Do you know anybody? You can do the same thing with Isogenics. Hey, I recently had this amazing product experience, whatever. I'm really passionate about helping people. If you know anybody looking for XYZ, I would love an introduction, Definitely some of the things that they were suggesting about networking events and, doing tastings, trying to get booths into places. But like I go to different gyms, I go to different coffee shops. I intentionally try to shop at different places just so that you're aware and you're having connections. And sometimes it's really as simple. I'm not sure if you watch Start University, but I trained on connecting with the cold market. Sometimes it's literally as simple as just complimenting someone and asking for their information, and you'll follow up with them later. Like throughout the day, I take Lyft or I take Uber on purpose because I want to meet people that are looking for extra income, so if I'm just like running a couple errands, I'll go and Lyft, and I start talking to them and I'll say, you're awesome. You have great customer service. Like you're the exact people I like to partner with. I'd love to get your name and number and contact you this week. I'd love to get your information and like follow up with you this week or whatever. And so it's just kind of putting yourself out there. But if we're using social media, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, we're hoping that people are going to come to us, and that's great. But when you'll get really skilled with this is when you're reaching out to people, and you're really, really proactive. But we're talking about enrolling people, which is good, not necessarily rank advancing, but everything we're teaching you the most important part to duplicate your team is to teach them, right? Because you'll forget everything you're learning. And all of a sudden we find ourselves like telling people to do things and they don't do anything because they don't really know what to do. It's such a show me business. You know what I mean? So sometimes like with my personally enrolled, I'm like, hey, like, you know, would you be willing to put a Facebook post up and blah, 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 blah. And they would like, yeah, it's great. They don't post. But if I draft the post with them, I say, if I send you something to write or help you create this, they 99% of the time they'll put it up because they feel comfortable about what they're doing, you know? So I liked what Jen was saying. Instead of trying to have them host a launch party, you host one and incentivize them to bring their friends over. It's less work for them, but they're comfortable doing that. That was a really good question.
Thanks.
Actually, I have 2 questions. I'm going to be doing a virtual launch party. I'm going to do it with Laura. Probably it'll either be the end of next week or will probably be the beginning of the new year. But I just have a question. Is it better to have, I'm trying to think of a time frame. I don't want to be too long and bore people. Is it better to be short, sweet, get to the point, and then end it? Or like just pick a couple systems to talk about, like ones that we already use? I mean, we did a virtual party recently, and we just talked about our favorite items, but we never talked about a whole complete system. So is it better just to talk about like my favorite system and her favorite system and just end it at 2, or do like a little brief overview of everything? I mean, I know we're both more passionate about certain systems, so I don't know if it's better just to spit it all out there or just talk about a couple of them.
That is a great question. I loved how you guys were interacting with each other when you did yours. Like we watched it and you guys were like interacting back and forth, and it made it more like almost like a talk show in the morning. That's what I said. Like, you can think about like Regis and Kelly Live, but it's not Regis anymore. Whoever it is, I don't watch TV anymore, obviously. But it was like you guys were going back and forth. And I remember that's something that kind of stuck out to me when Lauren was doing it with Renelli. I liked that. I'm going to be honest, we have not done a virtual one yet. But I think that if you were doing it, and Laura, feel free to jump in, please, as you posted them. But I think you really have to try to figure out who you're targeting also. So like if you were going to be inviting a lot of people, like let's say you had your entire class from when you were a jazzercise instructor, right? And let's say you were going to be having people that were at your husband's gym or like my husband's gym. Like you may be targeting a different audience than you would for people that are trying to jump off the new year, trying to lose a few pounds. So I've heard the idea of like trying to host different things based on interest about who you're going to have there. But I would definitely give an overall, reason that why people need isogenics. If the toxins are environment, the bankrupt food, and our stress factor, like those things you always have to bring into it, because that's what sets us aside and apart from everybody else and makes us so much better. And the quality of our products is amazing. The no compromise products, the 30-day money back guarantee. Those things I think are like non-negotiables, but then from there, target your audience. I think last time you did amazing because you were talking to a healthy aging population. But I think for the new year, a lot of people just really want to get the pounds off and just try to make a healthier lifestyle. Laura, do you have anything to add to that, or like really give her a direct answer?
Well, I think the thing that makes Isagenix amazing is that we have solutions, right? So I'm always hesitant to only pick one solution to talk about. You don't necessarily have to go deep on every solution, but I love to let people know that we have solutions and what our solutions are. And I would never want to do a launch party or a virtual party and cut out any of the solutions we offer. So can you all hear me? Because I'm getting weird messages that I don't have internet.
I can hear you.
You're cutting in.
Okay, sorry. It's kind of flashing on my screen. So anyway, yeah, I mean, whether I do a launch party or a virtual launch party, I just think it's important to say what sets us apart is the fact that we have solutions, right? And our solutions are, for athletes, for sports performance, for weight loss, for healthy aging, for energy, for wealth creation. And maybe you're only going to talk for 15 or 20 minutes, so you won't go deep on any one, but to let people know that there are solutions. But I do think this is the time of year right now where we're really talking about health resolutions, and creating healthier lives in 2017. So maybe you want to focus a little bit more on creating a healthier lifestyle, whatever that is for people, or hitting whatever their personal goals are for 2017. Some people might want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds. Some people might want to run a half marathon, full marathon, whatever that is. But that we have solutions to help them hit those goals.
I wanted to actually, Bianca, if you're still there, I wanted to add one other thing about generating leads with social media. But here's like what I would say about it. Like, there's two ways to do it. I agree with Laura. Like, we do have solutions for everybody, ages, body types, genders, whatever. And I think that is something that makes us really, really, really special. And if you look at the flyer I made right now on my wall, the Crush Your Resolutions, I on purpose have different ages, different body types, different genders, different races, because we do have that. The flip side of that is there's a lot of people too that are saying if you are speaking to everyone, you're sometimes speaking to nobody. And the more that you can dial in with your niche and you can figure out who you're trying to attract in and who you can connect with, you're actually going to end up helping more people. So Adam might relate a lot to fitness guys, right? He might really do that. Like, he's kind of a gym rat, like he's all like chiseled, like that might be his niche, right? Where like Ranelli's really connecting with moms and like people that want to lose the pre-mom weight, and Shauna might be able to, connect with runners. Like, that's, the products that she's really used. Laura might connect more to weight loss or whatever. So I think sometimes too, like, it helps if you have that common ground. So one of the things that I've seen people do, Sherry, on other teams, is have many parties and feature a different solution and invite different people for that. So you could do one just around amped or energy and performance and tailor your athletes. You could do a weight loss one and tailor your weight loss clients. You can do one on healthy aging and go after, the baby boomers or something. So I've seen people do that as well and kind of break it down, that they're not trying to throw the whole kitchen sink in there. But I think in general, the virtual parties are kind of new for all of us. So I would just play with it, and see. Like, the coolest thing about it is that even if people don't watch the live video when you're live, that replay stays in the group, that anybody who's added to the group can go back and see it, or they can get tagged in it later. So you can always kind of get the flow of it too. If you're like, oh, okay, like, like we ended up talking more about this and you want to add more people to it, it's kind of flexible. Or if it went the other way and you're like, all right, bad news bears, you can delete it, it's gone. You know what I mean? So there's kind of a lot of options with that. And Bianca, I got sidetracked, but I want to remind talk about it too. With you guys are trying to build on Facebook, there's a couple things that happen. So number one, you'll notice you're probably only seeing the same 20 to 30 people, and they're really only seeing you. Like, you really have to start to outsmart Facebook. So there's a couple ways to do this. Number one, you can be friends with people. It doesn't mean you have to follow them, right? So I have unfollowed all of my Isagenix people because I don't want to see that. Right? I want intentionally to see other people that are complaining. I want to see new people. I want to build new relationships. I don't want to preach to the choir, right? The other is I intentionally friend new people. So I've hit that 5,000, which is like your cutoff with Facebook a lot of times, and had to unfriend people and friend new people. And you can do a couple things. So in that search bar, just like you would search a group or search a person, you can either just type in a name. So if I was to type in Laura, the way it would populate is people I'm already friends with, then my mutual friends, then strangers. I click those mutual friends all the time, or people that I'm mutual friends with, unless they're Isagenix people, right? I don't need to friend all of Isagenix, but maybe I went to college with them. Maybe I worked at a restaurant with them. Maybe I know them from the fitness industry. Maybe we don't know each other, but we know a lot of the same people. And of the hundreds, probably thousands of people I've done this with, I've had 2 people write to me and be like, do I know you? Right? And I've just been like, Facebook suggested you as a friend. We have all these mutual friends. Like, I wasn't sure if I knew you. I'd love to connect with new people. And they're like, oh, cool. What do you do? Right? Like, you're not like being a creepo about it. So that's part of it, is just having new people in your pipeline. Because what we do is we're like, oh, I don't want to post. All these people have seen me post all the time. You guys, this week alone, because I do it intentionally, I've already refriended about 20, probably 30 people in the last day or 2, new people. I'm posting like crazy right now because there's brand new people seeing my stuff. I could care less if Laura and Jen and Shauna, my sister, have seen me post a transformation every day. And all of my haters, they already know what I'm doing. They can continue to hate me, but I want to broadcast what I'm doing and have new people say, what are you doing, right? outside of names, you also can go after people that you think are like-minded, right? So you can type in network marketing, you can type in sales, you can type in health, wellness, protein, fitness, things like that. I also search authors of like people that I read because they're going to have common ground. So I'll type in like Tony Robbins, and people that have liked Tony Robbins, right? Or that have that as an interest, they'll show up. Or I'll type in Brandon Bouchard, or I'll type in, John Maxwell or Wayne Dyer, and you'll start to find people like that. And there are a lot of people leaving certain companies and coming to Isagenix. It's known. So I'm searching those companies. Like I'm having, very aggressive conversations with people from other companies. Not that I want to put them down, but if I think that we have more dynamic products, if we have a more generous compensation plan, why would I not tell them about that? They're already open to the industry. Do you know what I mean? And then Laura Stevens has this great format that after you friend people, she calls it the hug, kiss, right? And so let's say I just, friended Marla and Sherry and Karen and Roseanne and all these people. And Facebook's like, Roseanne accepted your friend request. Sherry accepted your friend request, right? Well, you can't just not do anything with it. So I would go to Roseanne's wall or her uploaded photos, right? And it's like, comment, comment, right? That's the hug, kiss. And I'll do it for a few. And then I'll switch to Sherry's, do the same thing. I would go to Bianca's, do the same thing, right? I mean, this is what keeps me up till 1 a.m. sometimes. But then what happens is they go, oh my God, Lauren Sims like my stuff. Lauren Sims, who's Lauren Sims? So guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to my wall. They're gonna look at my comments. They're gonna look at my, my wall, my most posts, or they're gonna look at my photos, right? And guess what they're gonna do? Like, comment, comment. And what ends up happening is Facebook goes, oh, you're a match, right? So I see more of their stuff instead of all the other people I've been following. They see more of my stuff, that even though they're my cold market, inevitably they're going to go, what do you do? Can you tell me more about that? Right? I mean, not always, but that happens. And sometimes I friend people that are negative Nancy's, or I find people that drop F-bombs all over their wall. Guess what? Unfriend. Next. Like, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you friend the wrong people because you didn't really know them. That's okay. It's so easy to be like, unfriend. I friended a guy recently and he sent me a pornography picture. Delete, block, right? Like, it's easy. But I've also had new people come out and say, what are you doing? Or people that maybe don't want to do Isagenix, but they can introduce you to other people, So just don't be shy to do that either. And you have to have your Facebook public. If you're private, people can't see what you're doing, but your posts need to be public. Your photos need to be public. Maybe you can change it for individual stuff, like with your kids or something. But when you're blasting about what you're doing, it's got to be open. That's my Facebook soapbox.
He was from New Jersey, right, Laura?
Wasn't one of our freaks from Long Valley, was it?
Oh, that was G-rated compared to like what I really got.
Hey, don't trash Long Valley.
They've been freaking us out lately.
All right, who else?
Can I ask another question?
Yeah. Lauren said no.
I don't want to take it if somebody else had a question instead. So
Go ahead, go, shoot.
I have a possible prospect who isn't on Facebook.
Okay.
So how do I? Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? No. Is that a phone? Okay.
So get together.
But they won't have access to the dreamers, cleansers, and coaches. They won't have access to all that stuff.
Tell them to get a Facebook account. Help them set it up, just like I did for Jen. She was a daisy on Facebook when I got connected with her and she got started. I made her join coaches and cleansers, blah, blah, blah. She didn't want to.
I told her
I'm
I was
like, you have to. It's the only way you're going to get any coaching and support.
Yeah.
You want to be successful, this is what we need to do. I'll help you set the page up if nothing else.
I've had people create fake Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, there's a girl on our team. Her name is Sweaty Betty on Facebook because she hated Facebook, but that's what she named herself. And her, like, what is the picture called? Whatever, profile picture. Like, it's literally like a cartoon, but she's in there. So you can either teach them how to do it, or, I mean, Isagenix has been around for 15 years, right? People were building this before there was Facebook, you know what I mean? So you call her, you can text her a video, do you know what I mean? And then you can still send her the link to like the video that I've done, or email her the welcome email, and you can say, hey, 99% of what I do is online. If that's not what you're comfortable with, like, here's the tools. Like, Isagenix is gonna send her a CD with her box, like, or DVD, like, here's what you do. Do you know what I mean? Like, the stuff is there, she gets the kit, but I mean, right now she's not enrolled. So coaching her once she's enrolled is a different conversation, but how do you connect with her? Just call her. Say, hey, I thought about you. This is why. And be really, really excited about it when you do it.
Oh, no, I wasn't worried about connecting with her. I was worried about like if and when if she does sign up, are there, and Facebook is the only way to get on.
Our
like, the
welcome
coaching.
email has the hourly cleanse schedule. It's got a meal plan. It's got the link to the video of how to do it. Like that email is self-sufficient. And then just, text her, call her, check in on her day 5, day 14, day 21, make sure her questions are answered.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
yeah,
have.
I just don't want that to be parent from her from doing it if I say, do you have a Facebook account? And she says no. And okay.
Yeah, we have like a lot of people actually. Well, not a lot, but I would say some people who are not on Facebook, it's definitely hard to get them to like stick with things because they feel secluded. Like I'm the only one that's ever, been constipated, or I'm the only one that's ever felt nauseous my first cleanse day. And you're like, no, you're literally not. Just look on Facebook, you're not. But we have a couple right now that's like older. How old are they? Amy and Larry.
70s.
Like 70s, and like obviously they're not on Facebook, and they are like the most loyal people because to check in more. Adam like coddles them, and they came here, and like you have to just check in way more than them. Yeah, handhold them, but like it's worth it at the end of the day because they love the product. So I would just say if it was me coaching them, I would do way more than just the 5-day, the 14-day. Like just check in a lot more with them because they don't have the resources that we do. And then hopefully they'll join even with a fake name or something. But just don't name themselves Sweaty Betty. That's ridiculous.
She's on Rachel's team.
Always on Facebook, but she just stalks people. She doesn't post anything. She's a stalker.
Perfect. Like my mom. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Who's doing it? Who's going manager the week after Christmas? Who's doing it? Who's doing it? All of you.
Look at the road.
Every single one of you.
You're like, maybe.
I have someone going director in the next 3 days.
Nice.
Yes, that's the hurdle right there.
Yes, that's great.
She has 4 consultants and a pirate. She's 3 orders already.
Nice.
Does her name rhyme with Spinelli?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I've been counting the consultant, welcomes. I'm like, yes. It's cool.
Spinelli.
So I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Do you guys hear me?
Yep.
I have a question, and it's I've never heard anybody ask this, but if you sign someone up and they really don't want to they could care less about being a consultant. They really don't want to have to feel like they have to teach anybody. They just want to lose some weight. Then you find another couple people like that. You sign them under them. Is that correct? Or, you go back and forth because you want everybody to be a consultant, in my opinion, I think, so that they are eligible to make money. So is that the right strategy? And then you can go back to them later and say, gee, this is great. You really need to get your Isagenix, wallet card and teach them. How does that work?
Yeah. So first of all, who is this?
Oh, my name's Lori. I live in Denver.
It's Lori Von Bulow.
Okay. Oh, hi. How are you? All right. So wait.
Hi,
let me
good.
make sure I'm totally understanding your question. So you're saying if someone that doesn't want to do the business accidentally refers, and there's people that they put under them because they're referrals to you, or you're just talking about like a random 3 different people to make a consultant? Just can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I'm talking about the second because they say 80% of the people don't really want to work the business anyway. So I'm assuming that, but if I sign someone up and they have a person or maybe just one and they get signed up, don't you want to make everybody a consultant, or is that not true? You just want to focus on the 20% that have an interest?
No, then your business is going to fall apart the next month. I promise.
Oh.
You want to make sure that they're referring someone. Let's say they're referring someone. You want to get them on a 3-way call to explain the importance of finding another person that week, right? So
Okay, yeah.
Pacesetters pack and it's a $50 PIB. Like talk about how much more money would they rather $50 or $250 if they found another person with a Pacesetters pack that week. But
Right.
you want to put the responsibility on them. Like ultimately you want to build your own business. And if you put someone random underneath them that winds up being a rock star, like I always remember like hearing that, like that you're going to be kicking yourself later because that's your person that you put underneath them. That's not their referral,
Okay.
not the way the comp plan works. And
Okay.
you want to keep the integrity in the business as well. And people will surprise you. You'll think they'll never find another person, but when they hear like, hey, do you want $50 or do you want $250? All of a sudden that like they could think of nobody to refer, right? Except for their grandma. And all of a sudden they have like 50 friends that they're like, oh yeah, this person needs to lose weight. And they're selling out everybody, right? Everybody is 50 pounds to lose.
Okay.
Everybody feels like crap. They give you like names upon names. And a lot of times I felt like even just when you put a price tag on it for people, it makes a really big difference. But you still need to find way more people than just those 2 people for manager. Like we just did a manager call the other day. And I have to say like the biggest thing you hear is like, I can't find anybody else. It's because, or like my people don't want to find other people. It's because you're only finding 2 people who want to find 2 people. How about find 20 people and I guarantee 2 of them are going to want to find 2 people. So just keep grabbing as many people as you can and it will happen that someone else wants to refer. If you keep banking on those same exact 2 people and trying to build, with just random people, it's going to fall apart.
Yeah, Lori, I don't know if you were just on the
hearing
call that Kathy just did, but she talked about she enrolled basically 470 people to get 10 like rockstar builders.
Okay.
A lot of people are just going to be product users, right? But in the process of finding your business builders, you have to keep enrolling product users, and kind of looking for those. Don't ever just put people underneath someone because you want to create a consultant, right? So let's say you've enrolled Karen, but you met Laura at the mall. You're not going to give Laura away because, Karen's not doing this anyways. But let's say Karen messaged you or Karen called you and just said, hey, my aunt wants to do this. Like, can you help her or something? I would put that person under Karen, right? Like, even though Karen might not want to do the business, she's not really wanting to coach it because if you can get your people paid, you're going to have retention and you can do the work. You can get the order, you can put them in there. But like Jen is saying, it's worth having that conversation with Karen and just saying, hey, I know that you don't want, to do this. I know you're not really wanting to build the business, but I love getting people their products paid for. Right now, you're getting a $25 bonus or an $80 bonus. And I would love for you to get 150 or 360 or whatever. Is there anybody else you'd be willing to introduce to me? So people refer people, you definitely put them under where they came from, especially if that person's active in your business, like ordering 100 BB. But don't put random people underneath your personally enrolled to try and create consultants. It's better for you to just enroll your own people and find the ones that are going to do what you're doing.
Okay, so if I want to be a manager, sorry, I'm baking. Hold on. So if I want to be a manager, I may enroll 20 people before I find 2 consultants. Is that what you're saying, kind of?
It has to do with how fast you develop people. I would say those are your numbers more to create an executive. You know what I mean? Like you can enroll a lot less and create a manager. I mean, it's 2 people that find 2, right? But it's like it's having that conversation, getting them to find their 2 with urgency, showing them how to do it, So those numbers are different. I mean, I definitely went manager before I had 20 enrollments. You know what I mean? Jen and Adam did. Laura did. Sean is the manager. Way before that, it's really just having those conversations with people you're enrolling and with 3-way calls to get them to share.
Okay, that helps a lot. Thanks. I think I get it.
Can I add just one thing to that I think is really important?
Sure.
Getting people to share can be dramatically different than them joining a business. And I think how we introduce that to people is really important. So at enrollment, I tell everyone there's an amazing opportunity if they want to talk about it, but there's also an amazing opportunity for them to earn referral bonuses and not say business, because there's a lot of people, as soon as they hear that, they panic. Like, I'm not looking for another business. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do what you do. I just want to feel good. But people love to refer. When they have a great experience, they can't help it. They talk about it. And so sharing with people that they can refer is really important. And the new associate checklist is a great follow-up to that initial enrollment call to find out what people are most comfortable doing, right? Referring to, getting paid for or, creating residual income. And so as you're moving forward through this process, I would encourage you, Lori, at the point of enrollment, I tell every single person about the amazing referral bonuses Isagenix has available. I don't say, how about this business? Because
Okay.
that could be overwhelming. But I let them know that there's a business opportunity. And then I always make sure I follow up with that new associate checklist, which covers that, how do they want to refer? How are they most comfortable referring? So that might help you.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. That's great. It's the verbiage.
Oh, it's all about the wording. And Laura, I think that's awesome. Perfect way to put it. Don't put too much out there. Like, we want to just give people little treats and little nuggets. It's just like if you're trying to feed a squirrel, you put the food in your hand. You don't want to make any big motions. It's Seinfeld, sorry. But yeah, huge in not overwhelming people. And then what's also true is people will want to help others more than they'll want to help themselves. So if somebody's having a great product experience, be like, hey, do you know anybody that would benefit from feeling the way that you feel? So almost making them feel like, oh, I could help somebody else. Oh yeah, I would. Maybe I do know a couple people that could benefit and feel better. Laura, your house isn't burning down, right? You don't need the fire department there?
I think our cookies are ready.
I can't turn the darn thing off. Sorry. I went upstairs for a while. Okay.
Yourself.
Yeah.
No,
Laura's
that's
perfect.
true. If they can help somebody, that's a great way too. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
So I'll throw something out there. Okay. So I feel a little overwhelmed with all the goals that I have set, like enroll new people and then make consultants and then still learn the business because I don't know what I'm doing, and then still have, the life that I have that I need. Question is how best to organize that. Like what exactly should be my priorities, I guess, based on what Jen was saying, like keep enrolling people, but then how do I also focus on building my consultants to build off of that? And then on the other hand, because I'm still learning how to be a consultant myself, and then also still learning how to become a manager, and like I don't know that far out.
Bianca, 80% of your time is recruiting and enrolling, just like Kathy said, right? So that 3x3 by 1, right? That we talk about 3 connections, 3 follow-ups, 1 area of personal development. That's your bread and butter right now. Everything you're going to learn is in the process. Like I always tell people on their map to executive, you'll learn everything. As you're enrolling and as you're rank advancing others, you're going to learn so much. The main thing after you're connecting and following, because you're a great recruiter. You are a great recruiter. I don't actually know what your messages are, but you're someone who's asking for 3-way calls. You're asking how to overcome objections. So I always can tell who's working, right? So you're doing the connecting thing. I would say make sure you're being diligent with your follow-ups. I mean, more than 80% quit before the 3rd follow-up and more than 80% close after the 4th follow-up, right? So it's like you have to keep going. And even feel like, no, that's not for me. Just like you told me tonight, the guy you've been working on for a month, like go back to them, go back to them, go back to them, But the best thing I can tell you is 3-way call, 3-way call, 3-way call, 3-way call, 3-way call. You are going to learn from the people that have gone before you and making that not weird. I mean, both Melanie and Renelli are amazing at setting up conference calls. So when you're enrolling people, you're going to learn about overcoming objections. You're going to learn about different packs. But when after you enroll someone, if you set your day 5, day 14, day 21 calls to check in with them, and on day 5, that welcome call, if you have someone else on the phone, right, you're going to hear how they cast the vision. You're going to hear how they encourage people to share with too. So let's just say you enrolled Roseanne tonight and you say, hey, I want to check in with you next week. Make sure you're doing okay. Answer all of your questions. You could call Roseanne with Laura and say, hey, I'm so excited to touch base with you. I just want you to know I've got my good friend Laura on the phone. She's been doing Isagenix a lot longer than me. And just in case you ask me something I can't answer, right, I just wanted to have a good friend on here that could give you the best, information. Roseanne's going to be like, awesome, cool. And she's going to start asking you questions, or, hey, is it okay if I do this on my cleanse day? Or I did that or whatever. And then Laura at the end, you know, whether she's had a cleanse day, can go into, and don't you feel amazing? Who do you know that would feel that amazing, right? Or she can say, hey, after you cleanse, people are going to ask what you're doing. I want to prepare you on what to say to them, right? So I just want you to feel comfortable on what you need to do when people recognize what you're doing. But I would start doing a ton of conference calls, because you're going to learn from the people ahead of you. But 80% of your time is like connecting, following up, and three-way calls. I mean, all of this business, everything else will come. I promise you it'll come with like the more productivity you put in. Laura, I see you raising your hand. Just talk.
Well, I just want to wait until you're done. So, Bianca, I think the other part of your question, if I heard you right, and let me know if I have it wrong, but was more kind of like, how are you managing all of the stuff in your life and your time? Was that kind of where, like, how are you managing developing other people and enrolling people and your family and all these things that are going on? Like, how are you fitting all that in?
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have a calendar?
I do.
Is it on your phone?
My phone, my laptop from work, mixed.
Okay. Pick one. There's no right or wrong calendar, but get a calendar. Whatever works for you. Lauren loves her phone calendar. I love my big, and I'm about, in 2017, one of my goals is this big stupid calendar to figure out how to make it a little more 21st century. But my calendar, and Lauren's is the same, it's just on her phone, it's in 15-minute increments. My life is led in 15-minute increments. I literally, if I have a 15-minute call, it's a 15-minute call. If I'm taking my kids somewhere, they're blocked out. And I start on Sunday mornings, I put in what the things for me that are most important. So my family, whatever my commitments are to my family. So if I have stuff with my kids, sporting events, dinner times, picking them up, taking them wherever, whatever that is for me, that gets penned in first. My prayer time, my spiritual time, my gym time, that gets penned in next, right? And then I look and I say, okay, where can I put Isagenix? And I block out my Isagenix time. And then I determine what I'm going to do in that Isagenix time. So is it follow-ups? Is it cleanse coaching? Is it reaching out to prospects? It's my 3x3x3x1. And I plug that into the time that I assign to Isagenix. And when you do that and you get really good at managing that time down to 15 or 30-minute increments, whatever works for you, you're going to feel the weight of the world come off your shoulders. Because right now, you probably feel like you're in a 3-ring circus and the balls are all flying in the air and you're trying to figure out, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. And I have all these goals and I have to enroll 2 people and create a consultant and do that. And where am I going to do it? So your calendar is going to be your manager. It's where you're going to say what you're doing in what time frames. And I promise you do that for a couple of weeks, you're going to hit all your goals out of the park. But that time management is so critical.
Yeah, Bianca, so everybody's a little bit different, right? Like I'm super type A. If you just look at that calendar I put in the thread, right? And I have to be really organized. In the same way, if I write down I'm taking yoga at this class or I'm lifting chest and tris at this time, like I keep myself to those appointments, right? Some people do this because they want the flexibility. They want the freedom. Like I can promise you Melanie's calendar doesn't look like mine, right? And if someone's like, can you do a call? And she's like, yep. And she's got kids in the back and that works for her, you know? But if you're taking Laura's advice, you know, and you say, okay, this is when I'm at my job or whatever, and I've got 8 to 10 open at night when I can do Isagenix, then it's a matter of what are you doing in that time? Like how much of your time are you spending on personal development or how much is connecting and following up, right? And I think like if you just have an ongoing list, I mean, you have to have an active list of your prospects and who you're following up with, you can always find something to do. So I had a 10:30 appointment, an 11:30 appointment. We just lost her. I'm going to keep talking. She can catch the recording. A 10:30 appointment, an 11:30 appointment, and a 12:30 appointment. My 11:30 did not show up. And so it wasn't like, oh, what am I going to do for an hour, right? I immediately went into the text blitz. Like we have free shipping, right? I was like, boom, 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 because I have a list of people that goes with me everywhere. And was working into my 12:30 came, right? And that's the whole thing. If you don't have a list, you don't have a business. If you have a list, you can always be busy. But Hayden and Emily talk about working in 15-minute increments. like just burst and then breaking it. Cause that's like sometimes the attention span, and to keep that stance really high. Like, you know, some people say do it for 2 hours, get up and move around. Like, everybody's a little bit different with that, but I think it's all just connecting, following up, and having a huge active list. That was good, Laura.
Yeah, I really do think it's about managing your time. Whatever that is for you, you have to manage it. Otherwise, you will be overwhelmed 24/7 with whatever's going on. I mean, I pen in my laundry these days. So,
I pencil in showers.
good idea.
Yeah, I think I've heard recently too, it's going to be like if you're looking for balance, you're not going to find it, but make sure you're out of balance all in Isagenix, and then you're out of balance all family. Whatever that time is, you're out of balance for that thing. You're not going to find balance anywhere. But I found it when the kids come home from school, I kind of block that time out where there's a couple hours where I'm just playing with them and just loving on them, and then we put them to bed and it's work time. So then we're out of balance the other way. So it just depends on, you know, finding what works for you.
Yeah, don't check. Something for me that I feel bad still, but I don't check my messages all day long. And if it's something I don't have to answer, I'm not going to give a whole like dissertation of why I'm just saying yes or no. It's either yes or no, or, you know, or I have to explain it, but I can't do that for every single person. And so just try to qualify your time too. Like, you know, what is this question that's being answered? Can I just say yes or no? Or it's something I can answer later. So
Great question, Bianca. Did you get all that?
yeah. Welcome back. Catch the recording.
You can watch the end of it. You can watch the very, very end of it. But we were just saying that, like, in those blocks of time, so Laura, you know, is doing a really good job of guiding you when to block out those times. Maybe it's 5 hours a week and you do an hour a night, right? Maybe it's 4 hours a week and you do 2 hours one night, 2 hours on Saturday, like whatever that is. But then it's really getting clear on what you're doing during that time, right? So if you have an active list of who you've enrolled and who you're working on, that's really all you need, because you're following up with your prospects and making sure your cleansers are happy or helping them rank advance, you know? And then podcasts are pro bono time. Like, I wouldn't put your podcast into your business hours. Put your podcast in like when you're driving, when you're getting ready, when you're cooking. Like, that should not be like, oh, I'm working my Isagenix business, I'm going to sit here and listen to a podcast, right? Like, your podcast is like when you're in the shower, get like a speaker that's loud, or you're doing something else. Like, if you go, I have 45 minutes right now to work my Isagenix business, that needs to be sending messages, connecting, calling, like income producing. And just leverage the tools. Like, people blow up my phone all day long with cleanse questions, and I'm constantly like, go to the page, go to the page, go to the page. Like, in the time they asked me, somebody would have answered. It's not that I don't want to help them, but if I'm going to answer you, I want 30 people to learn too. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want everybody to be able to help. So if I'm not busy, if I'm in a meeting, I want Laura or Jen or Kristen or Sarah or somebody to be able to dive in and help. In the same way that if Jen is busy, right, and her cleansers are looking for information, we want them to post that we all can step in and help. So if you're finding yourself answering a lot of questions individually that could be answered in the masses, right, like, leverage our systems. Like, that's why we have those pages. And sometimes you feel like you're not helping people, but I always say, I'm going to be more than happy to answer that. Can you send it in our cleansers, you know, page? Because I want everybody to learn. I want everybody to chime in. And they're like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. They really don't care. They just want to make sure that they're getting the information.
That's the best thing that you and Laura ever taught me. And it took me a long time to actually do it, but so much time has been like relieved just being like, hey, can you post that in the group? And then letting, you know, other opinions there too, because sometimes what we say, people will be like, but then they hear like 5 other people say the same thing or say it differently. And they're like, oh, I guess it's real. So yeah, use the pages, guys. We have a business page and we have a cleansers page. Like, use it.
All right, rock stars, we're going to celebrate a lot of managers. I'll tell you this, I love Christmas, and you'll get extra bonuses for hitting it. You should hit it. And tell all of your friends that didn't get on the call. Bye, guys. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Are we posting a recording somewhere?
In the thread the same time as last week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Oh, and that too.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy New Year. We'll talk before New Year.